In the desolate waters of the North Pacific, forever shrouded in thick fog, lies a kind of death both contradictory and gentle. Mammals without thick fat layers will lose their lives within minutes once they fall into these icy waters with an average temperature of just 4 degrees Celsius. Yet one creature chooses to spend its entire life, sleeping, nursing, and even meeting its end, upon these dark waves that could swallow everything in an instant. Tonight, let us sit by the softly flickering fire and listen to this unhurried tale, as we explore the true life of sea otters. By day, they rub their faces in what seems a playful manner. By night, they wrap themselves tightly in drifting giant kelp, and even grip their companions' paws firmly in their sleep. These seemingly innocent and tender acts are, in truth, their quiet, lonely and faultless struggle to survive against the frigid ocean. In these deep waters where no rock offers permanent shelter, letting go often means a lifelong separation. As night falls completely and starlight scatters across the waves, those silent drifting figures begin a long story of warmth and trust. You need not ponder how they fight the cold. Just listen to the steady, soothing sound of the surf, like gentle breathing, and drift peacefully into the tranquility of the open ocean. To understand the fate of sea otters, one must first learn about their innate fur coat, a source of pride yet a lifelong burden. Among marine mammals, from massive whales to fierce sea lions, all rely on thick subcutaneous fat to withstand the bitter cold of the deep sea. Sea otters, however, have barely any fat beneath their skin. Their only protection comes from the densest fur in the animal kingdom. Every square centimeter of their skin holds more than 100,000 fine hairs, hundreds of times denser than human hair. The magic of this coat lies not in its thickness, but in the tiny air pockets trapped between the dense fur. This thin layer of air blocks the freezing seawater, maintains their body temperature at nearly 38 degrees Celsius, and keeps them afloat. Yet if their fur gets soiled or loses its air pockets, the cold water will seep right through and steal their last traces of warmth. For this reason, sea otters spend over a third of their lives grooming and rubbing their faces, behaviors that look utterly adorable to onlookers. They are not playing or being friendly. With sensitive paws, they painstakingly clean every strand of fur and blow air into it out of quiet anxiety. Every rub of the cheek and every roll in the water is a silent, grueling battle against death. As the noise of the day fades into the fog, the North Pacific settles into its quietest yet most worrisome hours. When night comes, sea otters cannot retreat to sheltered caves or solid dens like land animals. Their only bed is the endless, ever-flowing dark ocean. Beneath the silent night sky, invisible ocean currents carry everything across the water. If a sea otter drifts off without restraint, it may wake up far out at sea amid raging storms, or wander into the territories of orcas and sharks. To sleep soundly on this boundless expanse of water, sea otters have developed a poetic yet helpless way to stay anchored. They swim toward dense kelp forests rising from the seabed to the surface, and twist the tough, flexible fronds tightly around their bellies and hind legs. These giant kelp act as natural ropes, mooring these small living vessels safely within sheltered bays. Floating on their backs with eyes closed, they rock gently within the soft embrace of kelp, surrendering themselves entirely to these silent marine plants and falling asleep amid the constant sound of rolling waves. Not all waters are covered with thick kelp, nor can every drifting otter find a safe place to anchor. On open stretches with sparse seaweed, lone otters face deeper loneliness and fear. In the dark of night, they swim toward one another and stretch out their clumsy forepaws. They lie side by side on the water, one paw firmly holding another, forming a warm chain swaying amid the waves. This habit of sleeping hand in hand is neither social behavior nor romantic gesture. It is an ancient alliance forged by lonely souls against the ruthless natural world. In the piercing cold currents, the faint warmth from a companion's paw is the only certainty in the dark night. Sometimes more otters join in, forming groups of 3, 5, or even dozens, creating large rafts upon the sea. They rise and fall together in the wind and waves, their bodies brushing against one another with soft, muffled sounds, a faint yet unyielding resistance as a community. In the dead of night, you can almost hear their soft, synchronized breathing echoing over the water. They know that as long as they hold on to each other and feel one another's warmth, they will survive the long, cold night. The bond between mother and pup reveals the deepest emotions and heaviest destinies in a sea otter's life. Raising young takes a toll on mother otters, for newborn pups are covered only in fluffy lanugo fur. This soft coat lets them float like corks, yet leaves them unable to dive, hunt or regulate their own body temperature. For the first few months, the mother's belly is the pup's only land and safe haven across the icy ocean. She holds her baby close, drying its wet fur with her body heat and licking away salt and grime from its coat. The most dangerous moments arrive when the mother must dive into the dark depths to hunt. Sea otters need to eat a quarter of their body weight every day to sustain their fast metabolism. To keep both herself and her pup from starving, she has no choice but to leave. Before diving, she wraps her pup securely in kelp to stop it from being swept away by currents. Then she plunges into the dark blue depths filled with hidden dangers. Left alone on the open water, the tiny pup lets out faint, sad cries that fade across the empty sea. It endures the beating waves all alone, waiting patiently for its tired mother to surface with clams and shellfish. As time drifts on with the North Pacific's tides, every elderly sea otter bears the marks of a lifetime battling the ocean. Their whiskers turn white like sea frost, and their once glossy dark fur fades to pale gray. Their once immaculate coats, worn by countless storms and rocky shores, lose their ability to keep out the cold. Grooming grows slower, and every rub of the face costs them great effort. On bitterly cold nights, old otters return to the familiar bays of their youth and seek out the same patches of kelp. Floating on the water, they still keep a well-worn smooth stone tucked in the folds beneath their arms. This stone has helped them crack open tough sea urchins countless times, witnessing every ordinary and thrilling moment of their lives at sea. The sharp alertness and restlessness of youth fade from their eyes, replaced by profound calm, as if they have finally made peace with the vast ocean. They let gentle waves lap at their weathered fur and cold winds brush their white whiskers, drifting quietly and steadily. They never set foot on solid land in their entire lives, dwelling forever amid shifting waters, yet finding unshakable peace within all the chaos. Dawn finally breaks through the thick fog over the North Pacific, and golden sunlight spills across the calm sea. The kelp sways slowly beneath the waves, and the otters who clung together through the night loosen their grips. They wake, shake off the water, rub their sleepy eyes, and set off once again to fight for survival. Fragile as they seem, sea otters compose a poem of trust and companionship upon the coldest, most desolate stretches of the ocean. They have no grand legends or thunderous roars. All they leave behind are the soft traces of their breathing on the waves, and those furry paws locked tight together through the darkest nights. In this cold, rational world, this quiet yet unwavering warmth between living beings is perhaps life's greatest comfort. The story drifts away with the tides, and the night over the North Pacific returns to its original peace and safety. The otters resting among the kelp have fallen fast asleep. Now you too may relax to the steady, soothing sound of the waves. Let go of the weariness you carried through the day, close your eyes, and drift gently into your own warm night, just like them.